Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's midweek wrap up. I'm so happy that you came along to watch this tutorial. Today's a really fun one. I've been working on this one for a little while because I did a really cool look a little while ago on low buns. So all about having the bun low down on the nape of the neck and all the kind of fun looks that we can create with that styling. So today, naturally, we're going to do the high bun and to see exactly what that's all about and what that styling can really give us. So to start off with, we need to talk about what do we need to get the high bun. Definitely need the tools of the trade. Now, I've spoken about this a few times. You know, when I talked about under the Tichel, and all of my Tichel tutorials do kind of mention bits and pieces that I use for my Tichel looks, but everyone's different and everyone's comfortable with different things. So I'm just going to show you what I like to use. So I've got these beauties from primarily eBay, sometimes from shops. If you know they cross my path, I usually pick them up. So something like this is about $1 to $1.50 Australian. Gosh, that sounded Australian when I said Australian. And they're beautiful. They're velvet. You can get really fun patterns, and you can definitely find plain ones. They're mostly coming out of Asia somewhere when you can order from Australia, but I'm sure that they make them all over the world, and they're actually really easy to make. So this one's actually tearing. This is probably one of my first ones that I bought, so it's actually got a little hole in it. My fault, because I use them this way. I use them so much. So it's just a piece of velour fabric, sewn and then inverted, and there's just a very basic rubber band inside. So if you wanted to even make these, it'd be super easy to do. That's the first thing. The other thing that I personally love to use is this guy. You've seen him before. He's my friend. He's like cousin It, kind of. And he's just so comfortable to wear. Same kind of thing. It's a double looped rubber band. Just there you can sort of see it. And this beautiful velour fabric sewn through on top. And I've seen these sold in strips. So obviously someone's come along, run a rubber band through the middle and created a scrunchie. Super convenient. This one's really large. So if you didn't want this much volume, you can most definitely create a smaller one. That's the option. The other thing you can do is take a thin or fairly narrow scarf. So nothing quite as voluminous as the one I've got on here. And what you can do is two things. One is just braid it through your hair. So run your hair through the middle. And this is something I actually did yesterday. Is you create a loop on top, twist the rest, and then if you pretend this is my hair, you just attach it to the circumference of your hair, and then you loop it back through, and you actually end up with a volumizer. Not too unlike this one, but obviously if it was underneath. If you do have really long or very thick hair, you most definitely can use your own hair to create the volume underneath. Or if you don't have any hair to attach something like this or a braid to. The other thing that I've done before when I've had my hair sort of braided underneath or something like that, and I wanted to do just a quick bun underneath, is you can just take I prefer this kind of material, sort of a stretchier kind of scarf material, and just create a bun as big as you want. And then with the remainder, pull it through. So you have one flat side of the kind of like a cronut, and then one that's a bit more sticking out. And that looks a lot like what hair will do. And then underneath. And then that will pretty much stay in place, because when you put your first layer down that hugs your head, that will just then automatically stay in place. And of course, last but never least is the non-slip headband, which I've got there. Mine's brown. I primarily use brown ones. Occasionally I'll have a black one if I'm wearing a very dark scarf, because I find that if it peeks out, brown is really obvious. But if I'm wearing a colourful scarf, then I prefer to match my hair colour. So first things first, this is what's going to be underneath. I've got the non-slip headband. I've got a nice thick one on today. And I've got my friend up here sitting around my hair, which is at the back there where you can't see, obviously. So trying not to turn around too much. I'm going to start with this beautiful, my favourite. So this is just a thin jersey material, a little bit stretchy, so it's got a bit of give. Very kind of narrow cut, which is very convenient. And this is going to go straight on top. So straight away you have this really high look, which is so much fun. This is what I was saying before about not necessarily using a volumizer, but using either scarves or scrunchies to create your volume, because this may be too much for some people. So I'm just going to collect it and twist twice through the back. I've just got two twists there. And then I'm going to take one side and just kind of wrap like a turban, but crisscross. just to show you where I've tucked it away. So it's gone right into the actual wrap portion, so back into itself, and then we'll go this one the other way. Okay, so they're both tucked away into the original fold. That's why I crisscrossed this time twice rather than tying a knot. Another option is to not tuck them away and just have them hanging out, and then we can also just tie a knot at the base of the bun, just a loose one. So this time not covering the bun, but just crossing at the front and tying a little bow at the back, or you can tuck away those tails as well, and you get that same crisscross look. Another really cool thing you can do with the same undergarments is the obvious, well, it's obvious to me anyway, triangle look, because you do need some volume underneath a triangle. So just very carefully, so when you're crisscrossing with so much volume underneath, just be very careful with how much sort of fabric you get left with up here. So when you're tying it across, just make sure you pat away anything that's sticking out, like that. You can just simply tie it off and create your little fringe. You can do that, or you can do all kinds of crisscrosses and lots of fun different looks with the triangle. Very quick and easy, very cute 50s look. One variation on that would be just a twist and create a point of design. Okay, and I would probably just tuck this one away then. Twist, 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 and just tuck away. You can have your twist through the front, through either side. You can tie a bow at the back. I've just tied a little knot. Just find it more secure, but you can definitely go absolutely nuts with this look, and you can get so many different styles from this triangle just by placing it down the way I did and then playing around with those tails. If you're going to use just your regular thin scarf, this one's quite a large one, but you don't have to have it folded in half like I do. You can have a scarf that's just this size on its own. I've got it laid down a little bit unevenly, just a little bit, maybe just a hand difference. And I don't have it folded so that it fits my nape. I just have it kind of draped down at the back. I'm going to gather like two ponytails and tie a knot. So after tying a knot, I've got one slightly longer and one slightly shorter. The one that's underneath is the one that's the shorter one. It doesn't have to be, you could probably work with it being even as well, but I just know that my shaper needs this amount. Okay, so I've just brought it over the top. I'm just going to make sure that there's no bubbles or anything. So gather all the fabric and lay it down the way I want it to. I'm going to twist it until it feels secure, just by grabbing the two ends or some of the ends at the bottom there and just twisting it over. It just pulls it tight, and it really kind of demonstrates all that gorgeous pattern. So I'm just going to twist the tails that I don't need and put them underneath the scarf itself, so kind of tucking it into itself. If you pulled it tight enough, it will stay very nicely in there. Now with this tail, I'm going to fold it really nicely. You can choose what pattern you want to show in your scarf. I'm just going to be a bit ignorant of that at the moment. I'm just going to fold it nice and flat, gather it up so it pleats really cutely, and then take it through above that cocoon that we created and around the back, and then just tuck away. I've just tucked it into the knot. You can tuck it under the knot or under the scarf, whatever's convenient. I've got this beautiful pleated turban with a really beautiful twist as a point of interest, and a lot of pattern showing because of the way we carried up the back tail. Okay, I've removed my friend. It's just hair under there now. And once again, you can just create it with some fabric or with lots of different scrunchies or something like that if you didn't have enough hair to create a bun. I've got 2 scrunchies up there, one to wrap my hair around, so that creates a little bit of the volume, and then another one to hold it down, and that creates a bit more of a smooth transition. So if you can imagine, that's my hair, one scrunchie's just got it wrapped around and the other one sitting on top holding it all down. Okay, so this is another largish scarf. I'm not really paying too much attention with whether it's even or not. The one thing that is important is that the side where it's folded is at the nape of my neck, and the side where it can open up is at the top here. I'm going to pull it nice and tight at the base of my neck, just making sure that all my hair is tucked away. Really careful to collect all the fabric. I'm going to twist. I think about 3 times is enough, and then take it up. Now at the moment I've got all the pinks showing, so I'm just going to tie it around a few times. That's it. And then tuck it away. This is the exact same look I had on at the beginning of the video, only I've somehow managed to inverse the scarf. I think I've just put it on upside down to where it was originally, because this is a black, pink, green, yellow and white scarf. So depending where you put it down, it's going to create a really different look. So it's really fun like that. You get this gorgeous bauble at the top. What I did just before is just twisted the little bit at the end, and that's only because it was really kind of voluminous, and that will depend on the fabric. So I didn't have to originally do much twisting, and that's probably just because I managed to taut the material a little bit better. But I just take the scarf as my guide and make sure that, you know, I'm just happy with the final look. So sometimes, like right now, it's already laid down and I'm still twisting it because I don't want the edging of it to show. Alright lovelies, I just retied the exact same way, except I twisted about half of the scarf just to show you a variation of what it looks like when it is twisted a little bit more. So you do lose a bit of the volume, but you do gain a lot of really, really beautiful pattern. I've also flipped the scarf on the inverse so it shows a bit more colour and a bit more of that white because I'm wearing white shoes. So I thought it'd be fun to showcase a bit more of that white. Alright my beauties, I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. I most certainly had a lot of fun playing with scarves and coming up with these looks for you. The possibilities are endless with a top bun like this, with a really nice high bun. There are probably 5 or 6 styles that I could have included in today's video, but it'll go for an hour if we did it that way. So I'll be sure to show you as time goes forward the different looks, because it's just so much fun to have the buns in different positions. Or if you have a shaper, I've heard of women turning them one way or another just to get the position of their volume where they want. I know with shapers you can twist them one way or another and sort of manipulate them a little bit with the padding and things like that to get them one way or another. So if you have a shaper at home, I highly recommend you have a bit of an experiment with it, or even with what you do with your hair underneath, and see how that can alter the overall look, because it's just so much fun. All I did to create these looks is literally tie my hair a little higher, and that made a huge amount of difference, and it's so much fun. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. It's very easy to do. It's just that big button down there, and give it a press. Spread the word. I'd love to see the numbers grow. I love that people are coming along and having a watch of these videos. I hope you're getting a lot out of these tutorials. I certainly am. Lots more looks and lots more things going up on Instagram, bit of real life stuff, lifestyles and family and fashion and all the kind of things that might interest you. Wherever you are around the world, I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. I hope you're all having a really happy month, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for coming along on the journey. Bye.